Hi, in this video I'll be reviewing these Bridgestone Potenza Sports. Right, these are 275 4019s, 105Y XL rating. These are going to be fitted on a BMW 750i. This particular model of BMW does not take run flats, so these are regular tires that are not run on flat. I'm currently using Michelin Pilot Sport 3. I've had a variety of different tires on this vehicle, so I can make a good comparison, having been the single owner and single driver for many different tires, also keeping in mind that my suspension, my shocks, my mountings, my control arms are all in very good condition. Although these tires will be fitted on the rear, I will be able to make a direct comparison considering I'm not changing anything else, only the tires, and I'll be comparing it to the Michelin Pilot Sport 3. Right, just having a look at these Bridgestone Potenza Sports. They are directional. Over here it says inside, and I'll quickly flip the tire around. Now this is the outside. An important thing with tires is the date when they were manufactured. The date here is the 30th week of 2021, so these tires are fresh. A common problem is people think they're getting a bargain when a tire is on special, and then they only realize later that the tire's been sitting in a warehouse. The date at the moment is January 2022, and this tire is 30th week of 2021. Right, I'm just measuring how much tread is available here. Now the measurement is 6.26, but keeping in mind that if I measured in the middle of the tire, it was 6.33. So it's a little bit different between the edge of the tire and the middle, but I just took the lowest. Right, this is what the tire tread looks like. Right, I'm going to get these tires fitted and then I will come back with my review. Right, it is now 2 months and 15 days later, and I've been using these tires on my BMW 750i. I don't know the exact mileage, it's over 1,000 Ks. I have repaired one of my mags because I have hit a pothole. In this part of South Africa, there are quite a lot of potholes, the roads are not very good. Right, so here's the tire, the wheel is off the car. I have hit a pothole, the mag has been refurbished. You can see that I've driven this tire. I even scratched the curb here. As you can see, a chunk of rubber has come out, but you'll see there's quite a lot of rubber on the side here. So I do like that because it's harder to scratch the mag when you've got this additional rubber here. Right, so I'm just going to show you the tread. This is how it's worn. You can see on the sides here, it's showing some wear already. For example, I'm going to show you this side here. You might be able to see that it's already wearing here, and I am going to measure it with the vernier shortly. And then on this side as well, you might be able to see that it's already showing some wear. 5.9, that is how much tread is left on this tire. Right, I know this is a contentious issue, so I went and remeasured it, right? So I measured in the middle, I got 5.81. Originally I got 5.9, so if we average it, it's about 5.855. Now I also measured towards the outer side. Remember in the earlier part of the video I said that there was a little bit of a difference between measuring towards the middle towards the outer. Now on the outer it was now 6.07. Now just a note on this, I have not done more than 2,000 Ks. I think I've done 1,500. I'm not 100% sure. Yes, the tires were new and obviously I've been pushing them a bit, but not all the driving is on curves and bends. So I am concerned about how fast it's wearing. If I do a little calculation, my calculation says that after 23,650 kilometers, I'll be in the market for new tires already. It's very hard to make such a prediction. I'm just giving an example. Remember that we are going into winter in the next 2 months and the road will be a little bit cooler, and there's lots of things that affect tire wear. Right, my review on the Bridgestone Potenza Sport. Well, here in Johannesburg, it is our summer months, so I've only used it now in the summer months. We do have a bit of rain, so I've also used it under some wet conditions, although not extensively. My main review is in terms of dry. So what happens is the tire is very good. It has actually excellent road holding. What I notice, just like some of the Pirellis I've used, it takes a bit of time for the full traction to be felt. And why I think that is maybe the tire needs to warm up a bit. I'm not saying it hasn't got good traction when you immediately start driving the car, but I've noticed that after a few kilometers, it just gets a bit better. Now, I do run with spacers. These are 25mm spacers, so I like to push it in the corners. People who drive with me go crazy. So in terms of cornering, I'm very happy with the tires. This is the best tire I've had in terms of performance. Now, the traction, it's like it's got two levels of traction. There's the normal level, and when I push the car, at some point, it's almost like it's a little bit loose. Now, but let me clarify that. There's a bit of free play, and then it's almost like level 2 kicks in, and then it just grips. So I haven't actually been able to skid this tire. I haven't taken it to the track. I haven't done any drifting. I've found it quite difficult to lose traction with these on the rear. So I'm pretty confident, and I feel comfortable driving with them. In terms of noise, well, this car has a very well insulated cabin, so I haven't noticed any increase in the noise in terms of driving on the highway or just in normal roads. In terms of the wear, as I've mentioned, it seems like it's got a higher wear rate than any other tire I've ever had. Right, this BMW uses a 98 load rated tire, although this Bridgestone is a 105. Now, being able to handle a higher weight usually implies that the sidewall might be thicker. But in terms of comfort, I have not found these tires to be less comfortable. Actually, I've recently had the Toyo Potenza Sport, which I found were extremely uncomfortable. They were almost like run flats. Fairly good tires, but so uncomfortable. So these are not run flats, and they don't feel like run flats. They do have a bit of movement. So when I was saying about going around the bends, I can feel the tire moving. So I haven't pumped it more than 2.3 bars. I'm happy with that, and I have had a look at the wear, and it is showing that it is wearing on the edges here. So obviously the tire is moving quite a bit there, but in terms of comfort, I'm happy with it. I am getting tires for the front. I am also going to be getting the Potenza Sport, and I'll tell you why. There are two reasons. The first one is this is a ultra high performance tire. So I like ultra high performance tires. And the second reason is in this part of South Africa, there are a lot of potholes. The roads are not great. Now, as you can see, I've already had to get this mag straightened. And one of the nice things about this particular model of Bridgestone is in South Africa, it comes with a warranty against pothole and tire damage caused from roads. So that for me is very useful. Would I recommend the tire? Yes, I would recommend the tire with a disclaimer saying that yes, your tire does wear out quite quickly. I found it quite difficult to wear out the Michelin Pilot Sport 3 that were on the car. In fact, I was ready to get tires, but I was trying to wear out the Michelins to that wear indicator, and it was quite difficult to actually wear them out, although they were a bit older and the rubber does change over a few years. Now these, as I've shown with the vernier, are already wearing quite quickly. Now, I didn't mention the wet road holding, so I haven't driven it a lot in the wet, just a couple of times, and I can immediately say once again, this is the best tire that has been on my vehicle, so I can say without a doubt that this is an ultra high performance tire. I never tested any aquaplaning, but also these tires are on the back. What I notice, specifically in the dry, is that the back is very sticky. It's like it's stuck to the tarmac. And when I do a sharp bend, there's a bit of movement, and then it just keeps the line. Now, places where my Michelin was letting go, could start hearing it screeching, and it was starting to lose traction. These are not losing traction. But my Michelin were a bit old, but even from when they were new, I didn't feel as confident as these. So in terms of the Potenza Sport versus Pilot Sport 3, I think the Potenza Sport have better road holding in my initial tests for the last 2 months. But obviously I need to put set on the front and then look at the steering, look at the braking, but at the moment they're just on the back. Right, just having a look at the cost of the tire and comparing it to other brands when I was making my purchasing decision. Now, this is for the 275 4019. The prices are in South African rands, but what I'm trying to bring to attention is the difference in the prices. in order to justify the purchase. So having a look, here's the tires that I have, the Potenza Sport. They're actually the cheapest on this website. So if you look at that, that is 3,360 Rand, and there is the specification. Now, I was also looking at the Falcon Zenith FKF10, and then I was also looking at the, where's that, Bridgestone S001. Now, immediately look at that. So 3,360 to 4,550, which is about 35% more expensive. So immediately here, you're paying over $1,000 more for an older version of the Potenza, although it is a tried and tested tire. So if I was looking at Bridgestone, I would almost certainly get the Potenza Sport just looking at the price, but other factors come into play in terms of how fast it wears, right? So I was looking at the Potenza Sport. I was also looking at the P0. Now, I've had the P0. I find it's a very reliable tire, a great tire, but I wanted to try something different. Then there are the PZ4, obviously also rated as a very good tire. And then I was also looking at the Michelin Pilot Sport 4. There it is. So look at the price difference. We're looking at 3,360 all the way up to 4,586. Now, I know that the Michelin, in terms of wear, from what I've read in reviews, is not as rapid as other ultra high or whatever high performance tires. And here is the Pilot Sport 4S, again in that same price category. So is it worth spending that much more for a tire which I don't know if the Michelin Pilot Sport 4 is that much better? Now, I have had the Michelin Pilot Sport 3. As I said, that was what was on the car. I've actually also had the Primacy 3s as well. Those were probably my worst tires that I've had, but that's beyond the point of this review. So in summary, this is probably one of the cheapest ultra high performance tires, and with the roads that I travel on and the numerous potholes, I prefer to buy a tire that I'll change sooner, albeit a cheaper tire, than a tire that can last much longer, but the chance of me actually getting that tread out of the tire is lower because of damage, because of poor roads. This pothole here is actually round the corner from my house, and there are others like it. This isn't from the internet. I literally took this photo. So if you're driving on roads like this, one has to consider how long the tire is really going to last, and if it's worth spending, say, 5k on a tire in rands versus, say, 3.5, and then the tire doesn't last as long. But then statistically, the chance of you having to change a tire is greater when your roads are poorer. I've actually never got to the tread wear indicator on the front tires because I've always had to replace them because of tire damage. So in terms of fun, I really think these tires are fun. In terms of how long they're going to last, well, I'll have to come back and do a long-term review. I am going to be getting ones to the front, so maybe once I've done that and driven them for a couple of months, I'll come back and review. Thanks for watching, and cheers.